Okay, so because of copyright rules and all that nonsense, I can't put music to the speed paint, so I'm just gonna chat for 5.5 minutes or so. I hope that's okay and I'm not too annoying. I thought I'd just talk about some random topic that I enjoy, because why not? And I thought since I watched a couple scary movies while drawing this, or at least I caught the last half of one scary movie and started the first half of another scary movie, let's talk about scary movies. Um, the movies I watched were Mandy, well, the last half of Mandy, and then the first half of Texas Chainsaw Massacre. Neither of which I'd seen before. Texas Chainsaw is obviously way older. Mandy just came out, I think, last year. It's got Nick Cage in it, and it's pretty wild. It's on Shudder. If you have Shudder, I have Shudder. It's pretty great. It's nice to have a specific streaming service specifically for horror, because I'm getting real into the horror game. I'm pretty late to the party, but that's pretty pretty much my aesthetic. It's always being late. It's my life. But Mandy was very interesting. It was very experimental. I won't go into what it's about. I guess I can a little bit. It's basically like a revenge story, and there's a lot of drugs, there's gore, there's metal, heavy metal. It's kind of like a rock opera, kind of. It's very interesting, and there's also a lot of interesting lighting choices and color codes and things like that. It was very bizarre, and it was on Shudder, so it's a bit more of an indie flick, which means they didn't have to adhere to any not producer, but corporate BS. You know how it be. I mean, I don't personally, but I've heard the stories, and it's not my favorite. Corporations kind of get behind. I mean, I get it; they're the ones funding these projects, but it's still they'll put their 2 cents in and can end up really messing up a movie. And then a Texas Chainsaw, which was also an indie film back in, I believe it was the 70s. And so far, it's not like gory. I expected it to be a lot more gory, but they're doing a lot of the kills off screen, which is fine. And I like, it's understandable. I think in the 70s, gore wasn't what it is now. At least I'm not positive. Don't quote me on that. They're both really good, especially they're just very creative. I think that's why I'm drawn more to horror at this point, just because it's the one genre that's not been a letdown film after film. Not to say there aren't bad horror movies. There's a metric ton of really awful horror movies. But even the bad ones, there's something fun you can find in them. At least if you're not picky, which I'm not. I can find enjoyment in just about any movie. Just about. John Carter is still an unenjoyable 3 hours I'll never get back in my entire life. But I've been really into the horror game right now. My previous favorite genre was animated films. I was going to go be an animator, but I've been so let down by the animation genre these past years. I can't even think. When was the last really good animated film that I was super jazzed about? It might have been Coco. That was a really good one. Otherwise, it just hasn't. I liked Frozen 2 well enough, but I mean like a movie that I left and was just super excited about, and I had like, I can't wait to see it again. I want to go see it by myself. I don't even care. Nobody has to come with me. I'll just go. I don't even care. But horror will still do that to me. I'll still go see a scary movie and be like, man, I want to see that again. Like I saw The Invisible Man a couple weeks ago with my brother, and it was fantastic. I would love to go see that again. That, and I really liked the It movies. I know they're not perfect, but I don't know. It's this like 80s nostalgia. Not that I was alive in the 80s, but you know, I like that that aesthetic. I'm into it. Oh, and I mean, and then you you look online and there's so many creative things people do with scary movies, and the psychology too about what scares people, and how different everybody can be with what scares them. What scares me might not scare you, and what scares you might not scare me. I think that's very interesting. And then like it's even like the most mundane um, premises and horror can be turned into like just the weirdest stuff, and I really like it. um, so much so that I've been kind of thinking about doing like my own horror based thriller kind of comic strip. The only problem is that the amount of workload, and I looks like I'm at about 5.5 minutes, so I successfully killed the time. Go me.